Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alok Ranjan and I'm the Chief Secretary of the State of Uttar Pradesh. First of all, let me say it's an honor to be able to address a distinguished audience like this. Secondly, I must thank Economic Times for giving the State of Uttar Pradesh this opportunity to showcase its investment potential before an audience gathering of this kind. We are the partner state for this Global Business Summit. Well, as the introduction just went on, I think we've been hearing for the last 2 days how to transform the Indian economy, how to develop the Indian state, how to have inclusive growth. And I'm sure that this is not possible if states do not develop. The country cannot develop alone. It is the states which have to shoulder much of the responsibility of this development because this is a state federal economy and the states are going to determine how fast the growth process is going to be there. And amongst the states, I think the state of Uttar Pradesh occupies a very, very important position. It occupies an important position because of its very size in itself. In terms of population, as you're all very well aware, this is the largest state in the country. Being the largest state in the country, we have as many as 200 million people. That is the population of Uttar Pradesh. And we are quite proud to say very often that just in terms of population, we are the 5th largest nation in the world. So that kind of a population being there, that's both a strength as well as an opportunity for us to grow further. When you look at this population base, you must realize that the kind of consumer demand that it will create, the kind of market that is available in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And this market is growing regularly. It is growing because our GDP is growing. It is growing because our per capita income is growing. In fact, I'd like to share with you that the state domestic product for the last 2 years, we have been growing at a rate faster than the national average, than the country. And as far as per capita income is also concerned, our growth is faster than the rest of the country. That is only the beginning. We want to take it much further. We have got an ambitious plan for the future. We are talking in terms of 8 to 10% growth rate of state domestic product for our state. Why we are talking about this is because we want to not only catch up with the rest of the country, but go ahead. And for that, we have to develop much faster and a much higher rate of growth than the rest of the country. And that's why we have come up with a complete policy framework to enable this to happen. First, let me share with you what are our basic strengths. We are an agrarian economy. 29% of our workforce is occupied in, our GDP comes from agriculture, and 69% of our workforce is subsisting on agriculture. That shows the primary importance of agriculture in our economy. But we want to move from agriculture to a next level of an economy. That is why we want to increase the productivity in agriculture. And more than that, we want to move people from agriculture into industry and services sector. Our services sector is doing very well. It is contributing to 53% of our domestic product and growing at a rate of 9.3%. But it is the manufacturing sector which we want to concentrate upon to make UP a hub of industrial investment to take it to the next level. That's what we are thinking in terms of. Talking about agriculture, let me share with you that UP happens to be the largest producer of wheat in the country. We are also the largest producer of sugarcane in the country. We are also the largest producer of milk in the country. And we also happen to be the largest producer of potatoes in the country, and perhaps the second largest in terms of fruits and vegetables, mango occupying the pride of place. So this is the kind of resource base that we have in our state. We want to build up our economy, keeping this as the base. We have evolved a very proactive policy framework to encourage investment in the state of Uttar Pradesh. We have an infrastructure and industrial policy that was declared about 2 years back, and then we went for sector-specific policies. Like the food processing sector and agri-processing sector is very important and vital for us. So we have a very specific policy talking in terms of exemptions and incentives and facilitation that we're giving to the food processing and the agri-processing sector. Then we also want to modernize the state of Uttar Pradesh. And in this modernizing, we are talking of a specific policy for information technology, a specific policy for the electronic sector. In fact, already 2 clusters for electronic sector are being planned in Greater Noida and Yamuna Expressway, and a lot of advanced level has already been reached in bringing forward this investment to the state of Uttar Pradesh. Then we have in renewable energy, the topic that was getting discussed in the morning also, a solar energy policy, a rooftop solar energy policy. So in very many areas, we are proactive as far as policy making is concerned. Now, having created this kind of a base for policy making, we are talking in terms of development of infrastructure for the state of Uttar Pradesh. As far as infrastructure is concerned, our Chief Minister is very fond of saying that if we double the speed, we triple the economy. And therefore, we are concentrating on the development of road network in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And one of the major projects, you might have heard of that, is the 8-lane access-controlled Lucknow-Agra Expressway. The 300-kilometer Lucknow-Agra Expressway, the construction work has already started. And a very ambitious target of completing this 302 kilometers expressway within 22 months has been set for us, and we're monitoring this project on a very rigorous basis. Once this happens, it will open up the entire central UP and much parts of eastern UP to economic development. It's going to be a precursor to large dose of investment come up in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So this is one of the major highway projects that we have taken up. Further, we are connecting all the districts of the state of Uttar Pradesh with 4-lane roads. You can imagine how this will open up the entire country to investment from abroad, from within the country, and to take us forward to the next level. Road apart, then move over to the power sector. We have been focusing on the power sector because we are a power deficient state at the moment. We generate about 10,000 megawatts of power, the requirement being about 12,000 megawatts. We are talking in terms of taking this within 2 years to a 20,000 megawatts of power being available in the state of Uttar Pradesh, which will be equal to the demand. And then we want to give 16 hours uninterrupted supply in the rural areas and 22 to 24 hour supply in the district headquarters and urban agglomerations. So this is a very ambitious plan, and we're developing the power sector, where the state government is spending the large part of its budget on generation of power, on transmission of power, on distribution of power, as well as systemic reforms in all the sectors and cutting down on line losses and AT&C losses. So these are kind of things which we are doing in the state of Uttar Pradesh to develop the infrastructure which will enable investment to come in, to facilitate this investment to come in and grow in the state of Uttar Pradesh. We can go ahead. I can say that we have a largest rail network in the state of UP, and we are fortunate that the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor as well as the Eastern Freight Corridor is going through the state of UP. As far as the DMIC is concerned, 14% of it goes through the state of UP. But when we come to the Eastern Freight Corridor, 57% of the Eastern Freight Corridor is through the state of UP. Imagine the potential that it opens up for industrial growth. In fact, we've already done a study and identified 6 major industrial zones in across this Eastern Freight Corridor, which can be developed into industrial hubs. And already work in one of these areas, which in Allahabad, Naini, has already begun. A high-tech city is coming up in Allahabad. More than that, a high-tech city in township is coming up across the Ganga near Kanpur, which is known as the Trans-Ganga city. The Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, work has started on a high-technology city, integrated township coming up near Greater Noida. All this work is going on. But in infrastructure, let me add one more thing. Perhaps we are one of the few states where so many metro projects have been taken up. Lucknow Metro project has already begun. But within 2 years, we'll have an 8-kilometer stretch of the Lucknow Metro working. Total is 24 kilometers, which we propose to do. And DPR is being prepared for metro for the cities of Kanpur, for the city of Meerut, for the city of Varanasi. Already we have a metro in Noida. Now we are connecting Noida and Greater Noida with the metro. Now further, Ghaziabad is being connected to the Delhi with the metro. All these projects have been started or in the process of starting, which shows the kind of emphasis that we placed on the infrastructure sector. Now there's a lot to talk about the hard infrastructure and the soft infrastructure here in the morning. So we have not ignored the softer parts. We are concerned about the human development indicators of the state of Uttar Pradesh, and we want to make this develop further, that we have better human development indicators, better status of women in the state of Uttar Pradesh, better opportunities for our youth. Because as we said, the population is there. The population is both a challenge as well as an opportunity, but also we have to see that this demographic dividend that we have, we're able to reap that. Because the largest number of people in the age group of 14 to 35 within the country is also in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So therefore, our minister just spoke with you, and he talked about the skill development initiative that has been taken by the government of Uttar Pradesh. The skill development mission having been set up has already got 46 lakh, 4.6 million youth have registered on the website of the skill development mission because they want to be trained. And already 100,000 people have undergone training and further are undergoing this training. And so we have to skills. This is the challenge that we have. Further, in most sectors now, we are talking of the construction sector. A lot of demand from masons, plumbers, carpenters, in the hospitality sector, in the healthcare sector, and in the power sector. There's tremendous demand for skilled workforce. So what we are doing in our vocational educational institutions is dovetailing the curriculum with the requirement of the industry to make these people employable. So we have a scheme where even in the ITIs and polytechnics, we are asking people to come forward, industry to come forward, suggest their own syllabi. We'll teach the syllabi, provided they are able to employ these people once they pass out of our institutions. So these institutions will be as training institutions for the industry as such. So this kind of a setup that we've created was entire vocational education network. Besides, of course, in technical education and higher education, we have more than 3,000 higher educational institutions in the state of Uttar Pradesh. We have the IIM at Lucknow, we have the IIT in Kanpur, we have the HBTI at Kanpur, and more than that, we have as many as 320 engineering colleges in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And 96,000 engineers are being churned out every year within the state of Uttar Pradesh. So for anybody coming to invest in a state, here is the human resource potential that is available within the state of Uttar Pradesh, the skill development potential that is available, the kind of resource base that is available to make you, employ these people and go to the next level. In healthcare also, we are taking a lot of initiatives. Our minister talked about the ambulance service 102, 108. We are concentrating on reducing our maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate. In fact, for the last 2 years, we brought down the maternal mortality rate from a figure of 359 to 250, just within 2 years. That shows the kind of emphasis they are giving to this kind of a program. Still, it's a long way to go. We agree on that. It's a long way to go, so we want to go ahead and process this further. But this is the kind of initiatives that we are taking in the healthcare sector. We are concentrating on developing our district hospitals. We have got free medicines to everybody. We distribute free medicines to our district hospitals to everybody and have come up with a drug and inventory control system whereby we are making this possible for free medicine to reach to each and every nook and corner of the state. Because our objective is removal of poverty also. Our objective is inclusive growth also. Our objective is to bring up those people who are living in the rural areas of India who are below a certain level of income, to raise their income, to give them basic social security, to give them basic support through the healthcare systems and the education system to make them dream of a better life and to come up further. Tourism is another vital sector for the state of Uttar Pradesh. Is the state of the Taj Mahal. Everybody knows that. Though sometimes there is some confusion. Some people think that Rajasthan is the state of Taj Mahal, but no, it is Uttar Pradesh where the Taj Mahal is located, very much so at Agra. And not only is the Taj Mahal there, but there's so much of history, the Mughal history part. Agra has been the center of the Mughal history. Lucknow has been at the center of the 1857 uprising and all the history around the 1857 uprising around Lucknow. Then Varanasi is the city with one of the oldest living cities of the world. So we have come up with the tourism arc, which is Lucknow, Varanasi, and Agra. We are developing that. And we have come up with an open skies policy, and we are glad to know that many private players are coming up to fly their airplanes, connecting the various major cities of Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow to Agra, Lucknow, Allahabad, Lucknow, Meerut, and so on and so forth, which I think will further, speed up the connectivity and make it so much better. Then we have not ignored broadband connectivity either. The complete 4G network is now servicing the state of Uttar Pradesh, and we are giving full support to take broadband to each and every village level to develop services on this broadband to develop the state of Uttar Pradesh. So these are some of the major initiatives that we are taking in our state to develop this further, because our intention is, we know that this kind of growth rate that we are talking of is only possible if we are able to employ our people, if we are able to get investment in the state of Uttar Pradesh and investment in high-tech sectors. I forgot to mention the IT city project which is coming up in Lucknow. Already HCL has taken up the rights of developing this area. So with this, I think Lucknow itself will develop into a major IT destination also. So things are happening. UP is the giant of a state, and this giant has woken up in the new government, the new policies that the government has come up. And when this giant has woken up, I'm sure it will make a lot of difference to the development of not only Uttar Pradesh, but for the entire country. And as I said in the very beginning, the transformation that we are thinking of, transformation at the national level, is very much possible only with the transformation taking place in the states. It's a healthy competition that is there amongst the states now to attract investment to their own states. Every state is coming up with their own. Progressive Punjab and the Bengal came up with a meet. MP did it. We have done it. But we are there also part of it. It's a healthy competition. We feel that there's enough space for everybody to grow. But I feel that the state of Uttar Pradesh definitely, in terms both of human resource, in terms of agriculture resource, in terms of policy framework, we have an enabling kind of a platform from which we can embark upon high trajectory of growth. With this, I think I can only say that once again let me thank the organizers of this summit for giving us this opportunity to present my views on the audience. I'm sure and looking forward to one-to-one meeting or dialogue with anybody here and thereafter later on also to develop further on these themes. I'm sure working together with you all, we can certainly transform the state of Uttar Pradesh into a high trajectory growth state. Thank you very much.
The world is changing, and so are the times. Marching ahead every day with the changing times is Uttar Pradesh. Being the largest state and the most populous state in the country, Uttar Pradesh is also the third largest economy of India. With a thriving consumer base of over 200 million, the NSDP of Uttar Pradesh was $64.56 billion in the year 2013-14. and the GSDP of Uttar Pradesh was $74.55 billion in the year 2013-14. Work is on full swing for the Agra-Lucknow Expressway. This is India's longest 6-lane expressway, which is expandable to 8 lanes in the near future. This expressway in Uttar Pradesh shall play a vital role in boosting growth within the state and the nation. 2 modern flyovers built at a cost of Rs 5,073 crore have also been dedicated to the nation. Hospitals in Uttar Pradesh have been equipped to provide modern healthcare facilities to the patients. In addition, an emergency ambulance service can be accessed by patients to reach hospitals quickly and free of cost by dialing 108. A 24-hour ambulance service, Dial 102, catering to newborns and pregnant women, has been made available in Uttar Pradesh. With a cumulative FDI inflow of $405 million from April 2000 to April 2014, Uttar Pradesh is also one of the top 5 manufacturing states with 8.3% share of the national manufacturing output of India in 2012-13. A haven for ambitious entrepreneurs, Uttar Pradesh has the 3rd highest number of micro, medium and small enterprises in India. Around 57% of Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor and 7% of Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor passes through the state. And its single-window clearance system, Nivesh Mitra, has encouraged a huge number of investors. When it comes to agriculture, Uttar Pradesh ranks first in production of wheat, sugarcane and potato, and second in vegetable production. Whereas being the largest skilled workforce of the country, Uttar Pradesh is also conducive to industrial relations. Uttar Pradesh is the home to the magnificent Taj Mahal, the biggest tourist attraction and one of the wonders of the world. What's more, Uttar Pradesh has been witnessing admirable growth in education, sports, healthcare, and several other fields. Thus, it can be truly said that Uttar Pradesh is actually witnessing positive changes and moving ahead towards a golden era. Uttar Pradesh, the land where culture meets growth.